Hi, my name is Dr. Derek Saville. I'd like to talk to you today on medical commercial ethics. Before we start, quick quote. There are four phases of modern medicine. A. Intentional benefit. B. Unintentional benefit. C. Unintentional harm. D. Intentional harm. We strive for A, but often end up with C. While B is still possible, D is banished but not yet eliminated. We believe D can never happen in the noble profession, but it seems the quantum of unintentional harm has far exceeded our imagination. On any given day, it would beat the forbidden intentional harm. Few evil souls may decide to indulge. In my view, there are no great differences between C and D, as many of us fail to define our intention and its sequel in the first place. That was Dr. Sendat. We're going to start with introduction. Ethics. What does it mean? Ethics cares for moral principles, values and standards of conduct. In the arena of medical healthcare, this can raise a number of ethical problems, akin to the following. Healthcare delivery, new techniques, use in human research, handling data GDPR, professional integrity and genetic manipulation. We start with history. Before 1906, the Pill-Food Drug Act was passed. No regulations reading the ethical use of human subjects in research had existed. No consumer regulations, no Food and Drug Administration, commonly known as the FDA. No common rule, no institutional review board, the IRB. So why rules and regulations? Was the IRB really necessary? History teaches us in 1946 the Nuremberg trials were taking place. December 9, 1946 saw the key account of research with human subjects at an American military tribunal opened criminal proceedings against 23 leading German physicians and administrators with their free participation in war crimes against humanity. Some of the charges claim that German physicians conducted medical experiments on thousands of concentration camp interns without their consent. The result was many of the subjects of these experiments died or were permanently crippled as a direct result. From the trial, the Nuremberg Code was established in 1948, which states the voluntary consent of human subjects are absolutely essential, making it clear all human participants should give consent and the benefit of human research must outweigh risks. 1964 saw the formulation of World Medical Association, recommendings for guiding medical doctors on biomedical research involving humans. The Declaration of Helsinki developed a set of ethical principles regarding human experiments, specifically for the medical community by the WMA. This is known as a foundation document on human research ethics. The Declaration of Helsinki, DOH, has been revised in 1975, 1983, 1989, 1996, forming the good clinical practices in use today. Why is the DOH so important? The Declaration of Helsinki, the DOH, the key issues addressed. Research with humans should be based on the results from laboratory and animal experimentation. Research protocols should be reviewed by an independent committee prior to initiation. Informed consent from research participants is necessary. Research should be conducted by medically, scientifically qualified individuals, and risks should not exceed benefits. The Belmont Report goes through ethical principles and guidelines for the protection of human subjects of research by the National Commission for the Protection of Human Subjects of Biochemical and Behavioural Research. The Belmont Report was prompted partially by the problems coming out of the Tuskegee syphilis study, which was held in 1932 to 1972. And based on the National Commission for the Protection of Human Subjects of Biomedical Behavioural Research, in 1974 to 1978. The Belmont Report is considered to be key in dealing with ethics in healthcare research, as it accounts for the protection of participants in clinical trials and research studies. In 1985, Tom Beauchamp and James Charles developed the foundations of 4 principles of healthcare ethics. These 4 principles of biomedical ethics provide medical practitioners with guidelines to make decisions when faced with complicated situations when dealing with patients, which have been expanded now to 8 principles. So what are the 8 principles in general meanings? 4 cornerstones: autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, justice. Now we have consent, truth telling, confidentiality, and preservation of life. Autonomy in medicine. Autonomy refers to the right of the patient to retain control over his or her own body. A healthcare professional can suggest or advise that any actions that attempt to persuade or coerce the patient into making a choice are violations of this principle. In the end, it is the patient that must be allowed to make his or her own decision, irrespective of the medical provider believes these choices are in the patient's best interest independently and according to his own personal values and beliefs. Beneficence. Healthcare providers should and must do all they can to benefit the patient in each situation. All procedures and treatments recommended must be with the intention to do the most good for the patient. To ensure beneficence, medical practitioners must develop and maintain a high level of skill, knowledge, and make sure that they are trained in the most current and best medical practices. They must also take their patient's individual circumstances into account, that being what is good for one patient will not necessarily benefit another. Principles. Non-maleficence. This is probably the most known of all 4 principles, which in summary means to do no harm. This principle is intended to be the end goal for all medical practitioners' decisions, and means that those providing medical care must consider other people or society could be harmed by the decision made, even if it is made for the benefit of an individual patient. Justice. This principle of justice states that there should be an element of fairness in all medical decisions. Fairness is in decisions that burden and benefit, as well as equal distribution of scarce resources and new treatments. Also for the medical practitioners to uphold applicable laws and legislation when making choices. The hypothetical scenario. How do we put these principles into practice? So, we have a female patient who has an ovarian cyst. Left untreated, this could result in kidney failure. An operation to remove the cyst is obvious and best treatment. However, the patient is scared of needles and is refusing surgery, which would require a needle to administer the anaesthetic. The doctor must work with the patient to respect the fact that she does not like and does not want to have the operation. 1. Autonomy. 2. And point 5. Consent. The doctor needs to find a solution that would prevent the patient from going into kidney failure, which is the patient's in the best patient's interest. Which is beneficence, truth telling, and preservation of life. Surgery is the best option. Forcing the patient to accept the needle would be harmful to her. Non-beneficence. Lastly, the doctor needs to consider the impact that the patient's choice might have on others if starts to go into preventable kidney failure. She will need to dialysis. This will affect other people who need the same treatment. Justice. Not all to share this information, only with the next of kin. Confidentiality. The doctor has to consider all 8 principles of healthcare ethics to assist them to make the best course of action possible for the permissions of the patient and society. So in summary, 1946 saw the formulation of the Nuremberg Code, first international document which advocated voluntary participation and informed consent. The Declaration of Helsinki, DLH, is the basis of good clinical practice today. The National Research Act codified the requirement that human subjects in research must be protected and sets the stage for the delivering of the Belmont Report. Research ethics govern the standard of the conduct for scientific researchers. It is important to adhere to ethical principles in order to protect dignity, rights and welfare of research participants. All research involving humans should be reviewed by an ethics committee to ensure ethical standards are being met and adhered to. Decisions of the ethical principles of beneficence, justice and autonomy are key to an ethical review. Thank you for listening.